underserved community. We went into a community in Dominica, and while we were waiting to set up the interview, there was a group of youngsters. Nobody was over, I would say, 12 years old. And they asked us for money to buy rice, I think it was, or flour. You know, and every single thing about, you know, these children in terms of the way they were dressed, in terms of the fact that it was a weekday and they were at home and it was not vacation, would suggest vulnerability. You know, if we were to take that kind of development lens, they would just be seen as vulnerable, at-risk youth. But these children asked us for money, went and got the ingredients for food, went and got green banana that they picked from within the community, went down to the river, got a knife and lit a fire, and were creating a meal. And boys and girls. And for me, that was so powerful, just to see out of nothing they were making something. And what would be the power of if you could see that not as children at risk, but children with strength, who had found real tangible ways to meet their needs, and had a level of resilience that my child would not have, in terms of self-sufficiency, in terms of meeting her immediate problem, which is we need something to eat.
Yes, I know of a community called Debara. Yes, I know of a community of Bugis. It's nearby. Yes, I know of a community called Gara. But it was like, you never saw the extent of how bad it was, obviously, until you interview somebody and then they tell you their story. And it wasn't just, yes, that community of Gara, I know it's underprivileged, but that's all I know. But then actually doing those interviews, it made me see how they tried to be economically stable. Then you see how bad some of the situations are, obviously, from those interviews.
They have time we just get it good, but they have time when it's hard. It's hard. If you can drink tea alone, sometimes I will drink tea. If I have $1, I buy 4 bread, I share it how I can, and so we there. So my mother just give me some time, my mother just cook some time, give them. And my mother just give me a little help too.
Going to school for me, it was fun. But at that time, I was living with my grandparents, especially my grandmother. And I used to like stray away with the older girls. And she used to always tell me, when I catch my cold, I would blow my nose. I don't know what she was talking about. And then I would continue to go with them and I would go astray. I passed school events when I was 11. I started to teach at 12. But I made my first child at 13 because I didn't have anybody to tell me, well, what is right from what is wrong. And my grandmother used to say, Cordelia, where catch your cold, you go blow your nose. I didn't know what she meant. And I didn't learn. I had another that one died, and I had another one at 14. But then I pulled myself together.
Well, I always tell them I want better for them. The road I take, I don't want them to take that road. Because what's how I live in with them. So try to do better, try to make me proud, try to see if they can take out themselves in the ghetto and uplift themselves. My first one, she leaves school already. The second one, he want to be a bad man on the street. He drop out of school, but I don't really want that for him. But being play like he want to play a big man thing, and he have the friends liming with, and so they're putting that they maybe think as I young just like them. They maybe think I say me to them, but I'm their mother. So I trying to tell them what the road to take, the better road, but they want to listen and think. So my daughter, I wanted to go to when she finished, when she graduated, and had to go up the month and get a little job and thing.
Sometimes we have to, as teachers, we have to work with something, knowing that these children, if you come to school, you give them a reason to come to school and you bring something for them, you know, and they appreciate that. But you find that when these children themselves, they go to secondary schools, where most of the secondary schools are out of the community, they are not able to go again. So you find that they drop out at a very early stage. By the time the first year goes by, second year they are out of school, and then they back into the same routine of teenage pregnancy and, you know, no jobs, you know. So.
My time at school was great. I got pregnant in fifth form. I was big pregnant when I did my CXC. My time, I never give them teachers no hard time. I never get detention, never get suspension. And I took my whole 5 years of high school.
I knew if I had still been in school, still teaching, my life would have been better. Because, you know, being a teacher, I could have excelled, you know, get good things. But when you have a child at that age, you are a child yourself. You don't know what to do. And I think that impacted negatively on my life.
All started like a day I just realized I'm seeing a little dull in one of the eye. And I was like, I wonder what causing this, you know. So say about a week or two after that, I went to the doctor and check to find out what was causing the little blurry and stuff. And then they told me I have glaucoma in the eye. And I needed immediate surgery because right away, within 3 weeks to a month, I lost sight in one other eye, in my right eye. Because this time it was so advanced in the eye already. Because I was born with it, and as I grew, it started, you know, taking course in the eye. So I had to do surgery in the other one. And like I said, I was still able to do my farming with the one eye. But the doctor had already told me as I grow in age, as time goes by, the vision will start deteriorating. After a while, it just cut off. To be honest, it has been a big change for me. I mean, there were so many things I missed out on. I used to be an outgoing, fun person. I never liked to be at home. Always go out, by a friend, go to church. And right now that I'm kind of restricted to just being home because I cannot go anywhere on my own right now there. You know, and it has really changed my life for a long way, I must say.
I live with them, but sometimes I just cannot go to work to feed my children. But my daughter's sick about 7 years, you know. I cannot go to work, I cannot go everywhere. I have to stay in the house. So she have sore, you know, I tell you, in his hair, eye, everywhere. She cannot walk. So I just had to clean her, feed her, everything like that.
How does it affect you as her mother?
Well, it affects me because when I see my daughter lie down on the bed, what I can do? Because the way taking her. So I have to cry all the time. You them not to cry because you know, so it is already. So I can't see it. So I have to go outside. Because she's taking her bad, eh? The fix.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I was vexed because I didn't want to get pregnant at an early age. Knowing how my lifestyle be, knowing how my mother living, she's not like rich. She don't like have a big house or something like that. So it's like when I hear I was pregnant, like I was vexed. I cried. I told my mother that I want to cry, but then she told me that's not the end of life, and I'm not the first, I'm not the last. So I decided, okay, and I kept my child.
Yeah, right now it's over, say 5, 6, 7, 8 years I have not worked anywhere. I have not been able to work to earn any money from, you know. I get a little money from the social welfare, I think they call it, from the government, and that's all I really depend on. And well, I get help from my friends, people out there, you know, my family, some of them help and stuff like that. But I really cannot do anything on my own to earn any finance and stuff like that.
I came from an agricultural community, And that's what my parents did. That's what my father did. My father planted and farmed and bananas. That's the livelihood. And when it gave a good income to the family. But once that we saw that the issue with bananas just not pushing through as it was, we saw more people just sitting by the roadside, more people waiting for handouts, more people not sure what they can do.
We used to grow bananas. It was real good. Things were blooming. We built our houses, bought vehicles and things like that. But in the early 2000, say about 2011, things just went bad.
We have a community in Babino that really used to depend on agriculture. They really used to depend on agriculture. And they really used to depend, for Babino, they used to depend on employment through Maki Estate. Maki Estate used to provide employment for this entire community, really. You will see them moving in drones going to Maki on mornings to work. But with the advent of preferential treatment not being given to our bananas, you find that the estate actually dissolved. There's no more Maki Estate, actually. And that provided a real downfall for the community. They couldn't continue to be employed, and that was really, really terrible.
When I gravitated towards agriculture, I think agriculture really was, I would say it was the mainstay. It was my livelihood, because that was, in those times, banana were green gold, and we used to sell over thousands of boxes. From there, we started from the small box, and then we come up to the big boxes, and we used to make money, because I know that I renovated my house twice, I bought 2 vehicles, I got through. But I tell you, since 2010, that is when the poverty started.
It started to raise the questions of how did not placing an emphasis on education, how did that shape families, how did that shape communities, how did that shape people's lives?
I finished primary school. I never got to no secondary school. To be honest with you, I never really thought of give it consideration to go to secondary school and all these things. For some reason, I don't really know why, but I just know from the time I left primary school, I just went straight into farming.
How do you bring so many people who are basically farmers? How do you get them employed? How do you train them? There's no transition, say, from the cutoff of Maki Estate and to bring them on board and to employ them. Do they have employable skills?
For example, bananas has gone, or the livelihood that people should get from bananas, they're not getting that no more. But what is there in place of that? And some people can't see. They move into tourism, but in living in the rural communities, then you have to think of transportation. So there's more, it's added, just added on top of what you're thinking. There's too many things to think about. We want something in our community where we can thrive from.
We always tell our young people there's only so many jobs in this small country, and you have skills and talents which you can use and turn into very positive ventures. And so we also spend a lot of time in helping them to look at themselves and how they can use some of those talents and turn them into money-making challenges.
Well, Delibara has its own primary school. Though the number is very low, it was pretty low 2 or 3 years back. It was 33, then it went to 50, and I think now it's about 52 or 53. You do not get a yearly birth rate in Debara. You hardly get a baby being born in Debara. So what we do, we went to neighboring community of Gara and other places, and we tried to bring people to keep the school going, because there was they wanted to close the school, So we had to find means and ways so that they could keep the school in the community.
If you look at the thriving communities in Babylon, you will see that at the center of each of these communities, you'll find a school, an educational institution established within the community to educate the people of that community. And unlike Garam, very far from any school.
We have universal education, so everybody goes to school, but there's still a cost to that. Some children can't make it well in school because the transportation, all of that. If governments pay attention to that, to eliminate, to give bus fares or give them access to free transportation, even stuff like giving school uniforms. I mean, we have it on a very minimal level, but more needs to be done with that.
Things like uniforms, school supplies, how
Well,
do you get those?
People are like my children, they give me for them. Because of poverty again, she get a scholarship. They buy everything for books, everything for her. For 5 years she get a scholarship. Well, my hope is for her to finish school and make me proud. And make the people proud, the people that give her a scholarship proud, and see she can, she from the ghetto and she can do better.
But we have actually seen others push through, and it is really an individual basis and getting some support. Maybe just one person, maybe one teacher, maybe one social worker, one policeman, one person from the society paid some extra attention to the need of that child within that low economic status, and that child saw a rainbow. So what happens is that there's a lot of struggle with the family of origin, with the family of support for him or her, and there's a lot of struggle here, and there's a lot of distractions and friends and all that.
I think there were teachers who knew me, that I was real intelligent, and they had Charlotte James, I could remember, a teacher, and Fordy Tony. They helped me, because when I got the other child died, they would have been the ones who would have told me, like, Cordelia, you're bright, you can make it, so go back and do something. So I started to go back to classes and things like that. But again, I think I dropped out.
I think we need to do more where it comes to empowerment. For our agency, for my agency, what I'm thinking that we really need to focus on, a lot of it, is empowerment, helping give free knowledge, education to help people get out, help people with their resumes, help people with seeing opportunities, help people developing themselves as simple around what their needs are, around what they can do, around what they enjoy doing. Because some of people do not see that they have skills, do not understand that, look, I am valuable, they have stuff I can do.
As a teacher, I have seen a lot of progress, you know. When I first came to that community, I'm somebody who's very passionate about teaching. I love teaching, I love children. I go around looking at where the children are living. So I know what they go through, where, you know, some people, they don't even know, okay, I thought I'm teaching this child, but I don't know where that child is, what that child is going through, but I like to walk around my community. So I know everybody by name, I know their parents, I know who is lacking whatever, you know, resources, you know, so I know them. One of the things that I believe that education, that can help make a change in the way we improve our education system, is to find persons, for example, teachers who live in the community and they can work in the community in the school community. They get to know the students, they get to know their parents, they get to know where they live, they get to know what resources that they have around them. And I'm certainly sure that will make a change in what happens in the school. So
But I'm a community person from very young. And I started to get involved with groups. And then I started from there as a secretary. And then I went on to other groups. And then I actually started to do things that positive.
And for me, the big thing, employment and education. If we address those two issues, I think a great deal of good will happen with our families and our society and our communities.
The job I would like, you know what I would like now is what I get. So any job I get, once the pay is right and I can do it, it will be okay.
My biggest challenge is food and shelter.
Try to make the best out of it. At times it's very challenging, at times it gets into me. I feel, well, I cannot go through it anymore, you know, I shouldn't be in that situation. At times, yeah, I don't choose to worry or stress myself about it, but being human, these things do come, you know. But then again, I say to myself, well, doing all these things, worry about this, stress myself, it will not help, it will not get it any better. So I just try to accept it and just try and be strong enough, you know. Just be strong. At times I live my life like I'm not even blind. I just feel like I'm just okay with it.